Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to Aries EDC. It's been a while since I posted. Been a really busy week for me. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I am a knife guy and a knife maker, and I talked about all the different things with my collection and pocket knives, and also making knives. I like to share some of my knives and maybe share some things about the things that I've run into with making some of the knives, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. If you would like, though, please subscribe, leave a comment, like. Also, head on over to Instagram at AriesEDC. I share a lot of my work and a lot of things I am doing in my shop as far as the making of the knives, but also some of the pocket knives and some of the collection things that I have, little pocket dumps and those types of things. So I have fun over on Instagram as well. What I wanted to talk to you guys today about is something that kind of came up in my head of something I wanted to share with everybody. And it was why I started this channel in the first place. And part of it is a little selfish. And part of it is just a little therapeutic for me, if you can say that. So a little peek behind the curtain. This is just me and my cell phone and just hobbling things together with a little lighting and a little bit of that. But, I just wanted to share kind of my journey. And maybe it will help or inspire one of you to do your own journey, whether it's knives, whether it's something else. It's really great to have a creative mind, to be creative in some way, shape, or form, and putting the phones down, getting your hands dirty, and doing something, working with your hands, I think is very fulfilling. And at the end of the day, when you create something from nothing, there's nothing that makes you feel better than seeing that final product. So let's talk about it. So I started this channel really posting and sharing some of the knives so that I could get my product in front of people to ultimately start selling some of my knives, driving people to my Etsy page, which is, the link is in the bio, so check out the link. Currently, right now, I have these two knives available, and I'd be silly if I didn't show it to you. I have a Cardinal. This one is 440C steel, kind of an 1/8" thick blade. Black micarta handles with a nice neon green G10 liner. Fantastic little blade, 3-finger knife, very nice EDC size, and very utilitarian shape for the blade. It'll do any of your EDC cutting needs that you have, which is why I make them. Really is for your everyday carry needs. I think of the knives I make like pocket knives that are fixed blades, or fixed blades that are pocket knives. Comes with a nice secure sheath and a belt loop. I like to carry my fixed blades, I guess, horizontal on the front. It is a blade that is going to be under 3 inches. So check your state laws and see if that suits you. Also available on the Etsy store is a pedal. Nothing crazy with the blade shape, but a nice little package. Very comfortable in the hand. I really work hard on making these as comfortable as possible in the hand. Easy, user-friendly. Open a package, cut some rope, whatever you need. This thing's going to be right there for you. Nice small little package. This is AEB-L steel. It's another stainless. This one came out really good. So please go to Etsy. Check out some of my the knives that I have available. Also on there coming are just some projects that I'm working on. So really, that's why I started this channel. But then it kind of became something more. I kind of enjoy sharing it with you. And I don't expect to be monetized. I'm not making any money doing these videos, that's for sure. I have my subscribers, and those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. It really means a lot. And I really like the comments that I'm getting, I have to be honest. I really thought I was going to get some negative comments and some people bashing some of the things that I'm doing. But, I'm not an expert, and I have never said I am an expert. I've been making knives for just about a year now. So really, I'm still really new at this, and I'm still learning all the different techniques and learning ways to make these a little easier and make them come out better. And it's a journey with anything where you start making, you start to learn things. And I want to talk to you a little bit more about that in this video. But that was why I started this video. It's me starting to make knives and starting to be creative. And then it was like, well, what am I going to do with them? I can't just keep them all, So I need to start selling them. Plus, the goal is to just sell some knives so I can go buy more raw materials so I can continue to make more knives, right? That's the substantiality or what's the word? The stability of being able to create, right? You just want to be able to sell, get some money so you can get some raw materials in, and then you can create something really cool. Here's something I want to share with you guys. I shared this on Instagram, and I just thought of it, so I'm going to share it with you. So I was at a knife show, and I just picked this up. Some Damascus, Alabama Damascus, and I'm going to be creating that knife. This is a pistol, and another rock hopper, which is what this is. But I feel like I'm going to keep this one. This one's going to be mine. And then that one will be up probably, but I'm scared as heck to try to do it just because I've never worked with Damascus before. So that's going to be a new thing for me to try. And that's what's exciting, right? You try new things. It works. Great. If it doesn't work, well, what did I learn from that? And that is what this is all about for me. Being able to learn and then maybe share that with you, or at least share my journey. I'm not an expert. I'm not telling you this is how to make a knife. I'm not telling you this is what you need to do to start making knives. I'm kind of giving you things that I have done. And if you'd like to try it, great. If you find something different that works better for you, that's even better. So anyway, let's talk about some things I have on the table before I get into the other stuff. Naked column. I call it the naked column because I'm not going to put any scales on it. This is basically what the knife is going to look like. The only thing left to do on this knife is maybe clean it up a little bit more and then put an edge on it. And that's it. This thing is done. It's a 1/4 inch thick 80 CRV2. Very comfortable designed, and everything is rounded off to perfection. I work really hard to try to round all of the edges off so that when it is in your hand, it's nice and smooth. There's no hot spots. Very comfortable to hold and to cut with. And that is always the goal with any of my blades that I make. So the naked column, and this one is spoken for, which is great because me putting this in front of you and people on Instagram, things are being sold before I even make them, which is fantastic. These two, I had the rock hopper and a puffin. These are 1095. First time I've worked with 1095, so it's been very interesting. Really thin blade stock. This is a little under 1/8 of an inch. But again, very comfortable. These are going to be two little slicey blades. And I look forward to finishing those up. The puffin has that nice blade shape, something a little bit different. Just put the logos on these today as I'm filming that. So I just wanted to share that with you. So where do you begin? You begin with an idea, right? And if you've seen any of my other videos, and please go back and watch some of them, you can see what the inspiration of all this was and what created my craziness in making knives. So it kind of all starts with some designs, right? So I didn't just come up with these out of my head. I was inspired, and I am inspired by the pocket knife world. And I take some of those blade shapes and the pocket knife world and the handle shapes and what feels good to me. And then I turn around and I'm saying, well, how can I make that into a fixed blade? So rock copper, perfect example. Maybe not the handle, but that blade shape, QSP Penguin, very inspired by the QSP Penguin. It's a very popular knife. And I kind of threw my own spin on the handle, something that would fit 3-finger grip, but that roundness of the handle really gets in your palm. And once the handle scales are on, it fills the palm and it makes it very comfortable. And any cuts that you need to make, you could choke up on it, really get the edge of the tip of the blade to make any cuts for packages or anything. It's really great blade shape. So that's kind of what inspires me. So what I do in my process is once I get that, then I will draw it out on a sheet of paper, and then I cut that sheet of paper out, and then I make a wooden blank. And this is the one that started it all, guys. This is the one. This is the Obsession. And this knife was the knife that kind of started the whole obsession of making knives. And so basically I took that, and that's my blank. So I have about 11, 12, what I call blades or models, if you want to call them, that are all of that shape. So everything is in a wood cutout, and then I can transfer this to any piece of steel that I have, and that gives me my start. So that's how I kind of got started with doing this. But for what I really want to talk to you guys about here in a minute is, and we're going to go out in the shop, I'm going to walk you guys out there, is really the design part of it, but then it's how to use the tools that you have to create these things. That's the biggest part that I have found with making knives. And that goes with woodworking or anything else. You got to learn your tools. That's super important. And I'm still learning tools, and I'm still learning how to do things. But what I want to talk about first, though, is because I thought big. So it was like, well, if I'm going to start making knives and selling knives, I got to put my stamp on them. But what's my logo going to be? Where did I come up with this Aries EDC? Well, I am an Aries, and for some reason that zodiac sign is very important to me. It's always come up in my life, and it's just something I've always lived by. So I knew that had to be part of the logo. And I was playing with different things with the logo. And I don't know if you could see it. I kind of just did it with my finger. So you have the Aries, but you also have this part over here. So the initials in my name are S and H. So that is where the logo comes from. You have the Aries, you have an S, you have an H. So Aries EDC, because I make EDC sides blades, and that's kind of where it came from. And it kind of came up with me brainstorming and drawing and doing different designs. And it was creative. It was an outlet. It was something I enjoyed doing, right? So that's where that came up with, and that's created my logo. And I really do thank my stepdaughter. She is a amazing designer. And she really took a pen drawing of this logo and turned it into this. And so, Alex, thank you very much. You're amazing. So just want to throw that out there. She is awesome. And I love that logo, and it's probably going to stick around for quite some time. So you have the ideas. You have some shapes that you want to do. You have this bar of steel. Now what? What happens now? Well, you got to figure out a way to cut this out, because I do stock removal, or what's called stock removal. So what that means is you have your stock, and instead of forging it with a hammer like Forged in Fire, you can cut this out some way, shape, or form, and then smooth it out. So how do you do that? Well, there's lots of different ways to do it. You can use an angle grinder. You can use a bandsaw or a bandsaw. You can use a, you can even use a, oh my gosh, brain. It is Friday at the end of the day and my brain is fried. And you can use a handsaw basically to do it. You guys know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about, but I can't think of the word right now. It's going to pop in my head throughout this video and I'm just going to shout it out. But so you can cut it out in several different ways. And I'm going to show you how I do it. All right. So let's go into the shop and see what I am using. So it does take some money to do this. You can do it easy with hand tools. There are people who make knives and they're very good at it using a handsaw and files. And that's great. But I am so ADD, I would have gave up after my first knife. I would have completely gave up and never done it again. But I was able to scrounge some money together and create something that I'm able to create a blade, which is very user-friendly and works really well. So let's go on into the shop and see what I use. So, whoa, sorry guys, you're gonna have to come with me. Like I said, it's just me and my cell phone. All right, so welcome to where all the dirt happens. So, how do I cut out my stock? So I use this. What this is just a Bauer portable bandsaw. It's a portable bandsaw, so you can see it there. But I was able to purchase this table, and this table is from Swag. Swag Off-Road sells these porta tables that you can basically connect it to almost every single portable bandsaw that's on the market. So they have all these different holes. You can screw it into several different kinds, and it's there for all the different models of bandsaws. And this thing is amazing. So basically I turned a portable bandsaw into an upright bandsaw, and that's amazing. This is what I use to cut out all the rough blade shapes that when I'm cutting them out, like next up on the table is going to be this gargoyle. And even if it's a 1/4 inch thick steel, this thing cuts through it fairly easily. With some work and a little bit of lubricant, I'm able to get through that fairly easily. What I really like about this, and I spent a little extra money, is I got the little foot pedal, and I'm able to control the blade by touching that pedal. So that is the biggest tool that I use to really cut and shape, or to roughly shape out all the blades that I make. So once you get the rough shape, then you have to kind of really smooth it out and get the shapes that you want. And that is where this comes in. And this is my 1x30 grinder. Now, look, I'm going to show you the rest of the shop. There is nothing else here. There's no 2x72 grinder. There's no big machines. This is it. This is what I cut, shape, and I do most of my all of my grinding on is this thing. And this thing has worked out fantastic for me. This is a Wen 1x30 belt grinder. I do everything on this machine. It takes care of everything that I need. And it still scares the heck out of me. I don't know why. I think a 2x72 would really scare me, but this thing does some damage, and if you're not paying attention, it will get away from you like anything else. So, but like I said, you have to learn to use your tools, because you get the belt on here and you get up next to the platen, and then you can roughly shape the blade. But then you have to get the bevels of the blade. So I was pretty hesitant about that. And you can see I got steel everywhere. So I went and got, and just so you know, I just have this Central Machinery 5-speed drill press, just your basic drill press. And that cuts all the holes that I need in the blades. Like I said, there's no machine tools out here. There's nothing. And there's some hand files that I do a lot of the little small work with it. like making the Spanish choil or the sharpening choil on the blade. I use some of those, and just maybe with some of the handles shaping I do too. The biggest thing that I learned with this is to get Cobalt drill bits. Cobalt drill bits work really well cutting through steel, better than some of the other ones. So definitely get the Cobalt or Carbide drill bits. Those work the best when you're trying to cut through steel. Anyway, so that's what I need for my hand cutting holes in the handles and in the steel, just to for the pinholes and to lighten up the blades a little bit. I put a little holes in them. So I bought this because this is a jig. This is a beveling jig. Basically what this does is this helps me get a nice smooth bevel on the knife. But when I purchased this, it more looked like this. So it was this tall, it came all the way up here. And basically how this works is using this, you bolt the knife onto this and it holds it flat, and then you push that up against the grinder, and that will give you the nice angled bevel that you need. So let's take this over to the grinder so maybe you can see what I'm talking about. So you can see the platen is straight. So basically you guys can understand this. If I'm gonna put that up against there, then that's gonna give me my bevel edge on the grinder. But you can see where the platen ends and where this ends. So this works perfectly. But where it used to end was way up here. So the platen was way below where the top of that jig was. So what was happening is the blade had to be way down here where my thumb is to get that nice angle. The problem is I started hitting the top of the jig, or I had to raise the blade up so high it was above the platen, like in this area, and it was giving it this nice rounded edge instead of a nice flat edge, which is what I was looking for. So what did I have to do? Well, I have the saw. This is aluminum. So I took it apart, I chopped it down, and now it works perfectly. I can get it right here. The top of the blade can stick right up along this area at the platen, and I'm able to get the nice bevels that I need. So that worked out great. Like I said, it's learning your tools, solving problems, but once you do it, then it becomes a little easier. The only thing I wish this grinder had was a bigger flat part for me to work on. And I know there are other models that have it, and I'm looking into it, and maybe one day I'll get some money together and buy another one. But for right now, this guy's working great. He also has this here so I can get some angles, especially on the handle materials. I use that for handles. But anyway, so this gets me my grinds. That gives me my rough shape. This gives me the holes. And so what is it that gets me all of the texturing and all the nice sanding? Well, you're looking at it, your hands. And that is the biggest tool that I have in my shop, is my hands. Because these, without any of these other things, it all comes to your hands and your mind. So I hope this inspires you to do something. I hope you are creative, and I hope if you have that creativity and you have something that you want to reach for and to do, just go do it. Because in the end of the day, you will be so proud of yourself for being able to accomplish something that you did and you made with your own hands, whether it's drawing, whether it's painting, whether it's woodwork, whether it's sculpting, or making knives. That is the goal, for you to be creative, have an outlet, and doing it in a safe way where you're not you're not hurting anyone. You're just having fun doing it. And at the end of the day, you can hold that finished product in your hand and say, I created this from nothing. You created it from nothing and it becomes something. So I've shared it before, but I'm going to show you guys the first knife I ever made is right there. That's the Obsession. That's the first one I made. That's the second one I made was a column. This is how the column has changed. So it went from that and now it is that. This is one of my cardinals. Whoa, hey, you got me on camera, so I hope you saw it. There's the cardinal, and that's not one of my knives, but that is part of the collection, and I'll be sharing that with you in my next collection video. Just to go through this is the machine I use to do all my etching, my Kydex press. This puts all the rivets in the press. That's my Kydex press that presses and shapes all the Kydex sheaths. My little polishing wheel, some extra stuff, and my sharpeners. And just some of the collection. I think I've shared that with you. If you haven't seen any of the collection videos, go check them out. It's been fun to do. And I have one more that I'm going to be doing with that. But, well, that was it, guys. I think I have gone long enough today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, ask a question. I'll be happy to answer anybody's question. If you want to get into knife making, I would love to do that. Please go over to Instagram because there's a great community over there of knife makers and beginning knife makers. That's where I've gotten a lot of help, actually. And the community is out there. You just got to go find it. But thank you again. Please, again, subscribe, like, leave a comment or not. That choice is yours.